Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Oh, need to reload something. There we go. Launch.
Alrighty.
There we go. And we are back. I hope everybody's doing well.
How's everybody doing in the chat?
Yeah.
Is anyone watching?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we restarted the stream, so it always takes a little bit for people to rejoin. But we're already having 13 viewers, so everybody's getting ready. Let me just check one thing real quick before we go on. Yep. All right, here we are. Diddly do, diddly do. Diddly do. I hope you guys are ready for another cool round of games. Let me just copy and put it in so we all can see the chat as well, because apparently our chat decides to hide a little bit. Gonna do a quick little testy test. Hang on, guys. So we've got a great another game for you set up right now, guys. As you can see in the title, it's going to be Harlequins versus Death Guard. Two very powerful armies in this faction right now. Quick test.
What's happening?
My chat window won't work actually, and so I'm gonna try and test that. Can you actually grab the lists of those guys?
Yeah.
So you have pen pun for you. So
Yes.
yeah, let's do that. So why don't you kick us off with a list?
All right. So we have Dean Co. and playing against. Wait a minute. Ori Bisdom. So we have a Death Guard list versus a Harlequins list. Dean has starts with 12 command points, so he spends 5 before the game. He's running a battalion attachment of the play company Poxmongers. I'm not really sure what that does, but he's got a Demon Prince with wings. He's got the Ironclad Furnace, stuff like that. He's the Arch Contaminator. A Malignant Plaguecaster with Miasma of Pestilence and Blaze of Putrefaction. Quite, straightforward stuff.
Yeah. That's the usual Death Guard stuff.
He's got a block of cultists, 10 cultists, then 8 Plague Marines, 8 more Plague Marines with flails and Plague Knives and stuff like that.
The business.
He's got a Biologus Putrefier, a Foul Blight Spawn, a Noxious Blightbringer, stuff like that. Then he's got 2 big blocks of Chaos Spawn with Contaminated Monstrosities. Of course, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers with Plague Spitters and Heavy Sluggers.
Okay.
And then he's got 2 Terex Pattern Termite Assault Drills with Stormbolters and also Contaminated Monstrosity. So all those CP he spent before, it's Contaminated Monstrosity.
That's another 5-up invul.
Yeah.
Those things actually project, I believe, a 5-up invul, which is even crazier.
That's
Or like a 4-up invul. That was a 4-up or a 5-up invul. I'm actually not quite sure. But those Thermite drills are actually rather powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
very-
anyone wants to see the list, they can go to punpun.nl and just look in.
Yep.
I'll go to Ori's list. He's got also a battalion starting with 7 CP. He's got the Mask from Frozen Stars and Hysterical Fury. He's using Enigmas of the Black Library for 2 relics. got a Shadow Seer, Prayer of Twilight, Misstave, Shield from Harm, Shuriken Pistol, Smite, Pivotal Roll, Shadowstone, Twilight Pathways, Veil of Illusion, like
Yeah.
crazy buffed up
Yep.
Shadow Seer, Troop Master, Choreographer of War, Darkness Bite, Harlequins Blade, Plasma Grenades, also quite buffed, and then another Troop Master, but this one with a fusion pistol. And
Okay.
then he's got 4 blocks of 5 Harlequins
Yeah.
with a mixture of weapons,
Sweet.
fusion pistols. I see caresses, I see kisses, stuff like that.
Yeah.
2 Death Jesters and another Solitaire. And then in his fast attack he's got 1 block of 6 Skyweavers. And then 1 block of 5 Skyweavers. And then heavy support is 2 Void Weaver with prismatic cannons.
Sweet.
And the dedicated transports are 4 Star Weavers.
Okay.
So a lot of clowns in a lot of boats.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the board.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. I also already have the secondaries, and the guys really want to start the game early because they want to go the full time.
Okay.
So we're not going to hear a lot of explaining from them because they just want to focus on the match.
Yeah, okay.
But Dean has picked Vital Ground, which is a mission-specific secondary objective.
Yeah.
He scores 3 command points, victory points, I mean,
Yeah.
in his command phase. If he has 3 points for the objective in his deployment zone,
Yeah.
and 2 for each of the objectives in no man's land,
Yep.
for a maximum of 7 per turn. So
right.
it's progressive.
Yeah.
Then he picked Assassinate, so he's going after characters, and he picked While We Stand, We Fight. His units are really tough, so if he can keep his Demon Prince alive and 2 of the Plague Burst Crawlers,
Yeah.
which he selected, then he'll score the maximum points for that.
Yeah. Could you actually tell me? Sorry to interrupt. Could you actually tell me the sub-faction for the Harlequins?
Yes.
So let's get that one. The
Frozen
Stars. Yeah, Frozen Stars. Frozen Stars, and for I think it's how do you call it? What's it for Death Guard again?
Wie gaat er eerst? Of ben je nu aan het beslissen? Oh, the players are deciding who's going to take
Oh,
first
are
turn.
they? Yeah, interesting. So actually, this is.
Oh, Dean has given the first turn to Ori.
Okay.
Good luck, boys! And Ori's picked Engage in all fronts, so we saw that in the last match. He's going to try to spread his army out across the
Yeah.
table quarters. He picked Bring It Down to score more points for
Okay.
destroying vehicles. Of course, there's a lot of vehicles roaming around.
Yeah.
And he's got those fusion pistols. And he picked Deploy Scramblers.
Oh, interesting one.
We've already
Yeah,
seen that
this
one in the
Destroy
last
Scramblers is actually quite a common pick
one. Yeah.
nowadays. So, so that's for Ori. So could you repeat that one more time? Because I'm doing multiple things. Engage. Engage in all fronts. Bring it down. So he's bringing it down, bring it down, bring it down. And for the third is deploy scramblers. Okay, and then we have for Dean we have vital. Oh, that's the that's vital information, right? Or what is it?
Vital Ground, it's a mission specific.
That's a mission specific one. So what does that one do again?
You scored at the end of your command phase, and you scored 3 points if you control the objective marker in the opponent's deployment zone,
Yeah.
and 2 for each of the objectives in the no man's land.
Oh yeah.
And you can add those up together.
Okay.
So you could potentially score 7 a turn.
What was this?
Assassinate.
Assassinate. Ah, okay, so he's going for his characters, which makes sense. So the Harlequins have a lot of characters that actually are quite dangerous, and yeah, you need to eliminate them anyway. Okay, so we've got those clocked in. And then we've got turn 1 up on the board. How many CP do both players?
Ori's Ori starts with 7, going up to 8 now, and Dean starts with also with 7.
Both start at 7.
But Ori goes up to 8 in his command phase.
Yes, true. So this is actually turn 1 for Ori.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it in there.
Yeah, you get it on the table. I'll be here. Okay, so let's see. So as you can see, it's hammer and anvil deployment, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Death Guard and Harlequins facing off. The first turn going to the Harlequins. And Dean apparently thinking that, you know, he can take the brunt of Ori's attack the first turn. And, well, Ori having no turn but to go, or no choice but to go first.
Radio.
Deze advanced ook?
Ja.
So, I hope you guys are excited for this game. This is actually quite an awesome matchup. The fast and speedy Harlequins versus the tough and implacable Death Guard. Are really two mean lists. This list of the Harlequins really focusing on speed and striking where they need to and striking hard, and just relying on the speed to be on the objectives wherever they need to be. And then we have the Death Guard, who are focused on just getting on the objectives. Normally struggle a little bit with movement and versatility speed-wise, but with the termite drills, that's actually less of an issue, allowing those Death Guard blobs to deep strike in and being extra resilient as they get, if I'm not mistaken, a 4-up invul or a 5-up invul on top of their already quite resilient saves. We see Ori here moving up the board already. As you can see, that speed really already being put into play. And really being immediately in Dean's face. As you can see, Dean's army mostly is being screened by the Chaos Spawn. Actually a pretty good unit in this edition, dealing quite an impressive damage output, having D6 attacks each with I believe strength 5, hitting on force though, but damage AP -2 I do believe, and damage 2, so like really good marine killers or anything with 2 wounds and a good save really. But he screened him knowing that he'll be receiving a lot of attacks right away from the Harlequins. It might be his plan to just pull them in and just deal with them as quickly as they can. Thing is that Harlequins can be fast, but if he forces the Harlequins, or maybe if he can trick the Harlequins into coming at him, that's exactly what he wants. So we'll see. So we can see actually the termite drills starting on the board. That's an interesting choice. So no deep striking with the drills, in fact. So that's very interesting. I'm going to put the audio on the players because there's some interesting stuff happening, so we can all listen in. And we'll do a little recap at the end of the turn.
Drake opgeknipt. Ik zie er stukjes Heldrake.
Ja, hè?
Daar word ik echt heel verdrietig van.
Ja, maar mijn Heldrake die heeft de vleugels van de fantasy draak, zeg maar, die doden. Ja, dus dat is...
Oké. Wat was dit trouwens?
Hè?
Wat was dit?
De Finopé, maar die gaat niet af.
Oké. Aha.
Maar dan ga ik niet rerollen, laat ik zo.
Ja.
Dan ga ik naar de shooting phase. Deze 6 met de haywire die schieten in de drill.
Ja. Ik denk dat deze doet -1 heeft.
Ik heb sowieso -1 omdat ik advanced heb.
Oh, dat maakt geen zak uit. Oké, cool.
6d6. 10, 19, 23, 26.
Ja.
Dit zijn de 6. 10, 16, 20. Even kijken. 23 zei ik, hè? Of 26?
26.
26.
Dit een hit.
26. Hit op 4.
Ja. Oei.
En dan Heewij toughness 6. 8. Even kijken, de 6 zijn normale wounds. En alles 4 plus is Heewij. Deze was niet plat. Doen we rollen? Ja. Even kijken. Dat zijn 4 saves AP-1.
Ja.
En ook Heewij.
Hoeveel mortal wounds zijn het?
Even kijken. Dat zijn 9, 10, 13 mortal wounds en 3 saves.
3 saves. 4 plus.
AP-1 is het.
Dus 2 door, dus hoeveel saves? 15.
15, ja.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ga er eentje rerollen. Yes!
Krijg ik die terug? Nee.
6 en... Woe!
Deze voorste kan hem wel zien, hier overheen. Check het even.
Ja, ik denk dat iemand daar moet naar laten kijken. Ik ben niet of van overtuigd namelijk.
Oké.
Jack! Zullen wij een rolling krijgen alsjeblieft?
Kan deze voorste de drill zien? Die voorste.
Wil je anders dit gebruiken? Heb je een rechte lijn?
Nou, als jij zegt niet, nee, dan is het nee, dan schiet ik hem wat anders op.
Ik zie namelijk ook niet.
Nou, als jullie allebei zeggen niet, dan niet. Dan, Oké, cool.
Dankjewel voor het handelen.
Dan schiet ik met de shuriken erop van deze.
Shuriken?
Ja.
Ja.
Die had advance, dus ook 4'tjes.
Ook range? Ja toch?
Ja.
Wat zijn cannons?
Ja, 24 inch.
Ja.
Stank 6, 5 en 6. Niks. Nee, deze squad op je
Ja.
5d6. 10, 19.
Hebben we deze nog advanced?
Die hebben ook advanced.
Oké.
5, 10, 14, 19, 4'tjes weer.
Oei.
Volgens mij is dat. Zeg je oei omdat het te veel zijn of omdat het een slechte rol is?
Dit zag er niet zo goed uit.
Nee.
Het is een mokkie.
En haywire,
Ik zie 1 wound.
1 wound, ja, min 1.
Saved.
En dat zijn 6 mortal wounds.
3. 9 over.
Deze shuriken in je
Spanisch.
Spanish. Advanced, dus min 1. 1 wound.
3 over. Ik zet wat over is.
Is goed, ja, ik doe dat ook altijd.
Oké. Deze is het.
Achterste schiet er ook op, die heeft niet advanced. Dus het zijn 3 to hit. En 3 to wound. Toughness 5, toch?
Ja.
Eentje.
Oeh, dat ging...
Dat ging net goed, hè? Deze kan hem niet zien, maar die schiet op hun.
ja.
Ook niet. Niet advanced. 3 wounds.
Eentje.
Dat was mijn shooting gewoon van de eerste beurt. Even kijken, als ik hun daar in charge, staat er niks binnen Heroic Intervention range, hè?
Nee.
Staat hij binnen?
7 inch, ja.
Ja, ja dat uiteraard wel. Hun charge alsnog daar wel in.
Is goed.
Tweede 6. Zou het moeten doen.
Ja, je haalt het wel, alleen ik mag eerst slaan.
Ja, dat sowieso.
Piep, piep. Piep. Hoeveel wounds hebben die knakkers?
3.
Oké.
Ja.
Oké. Eén, 2, 3, 4, 5, D6. Wat is een bonus? AP4, dat maakt niks uit.
Nee, AP maakt niks uit.
Dus dit is, oh dat is echt heel laag. 10, 13 plus 5 is 18. Heeft wel salt.
Ja.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Viertjes, Rio, eentjes.
Ja. Ligt nog een 1. Ja.
Dankjewel. Holy shit, balls. Oh, die
Was een hit volgens mij.
Streng 5, toughness
4.
Ik doe het even hier, op de camera. Hier zien we het toch? Drietjes en ik rol ze aan.
Dat zijn er een stuk minder.
Die is goed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
3 plus?
Ja. Eén te druk.
Nee. 3 plus. Info van die stratagem die ik gebruikt heb.
Ja.
Dat zijn...
Dat is 2 damage per stuk.
Oh, 2 damage per stuk.
Ja.
Reroll ik er eentje.
Oké. 2 wounds. CP'tje weer.
Blijft hij terug? Nee. En dan eentje op 1 wound.
Pling.
Kijken. Nee, die start eigenlijk al.
Je moet wel buiten 1 inch van deze vriend, anders mogen ze straks ook slaan.
Zo. Ja. Staan er 4. 16 attacks. Frozen Stars, dus hebben ze plus 1 op de charge. Drietjes. Vijfjes.
Oké.
Dat is beter. Dat zijn...
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you probably could have noticed, players are talking in Dutch. So I'm going to take over and narrate a little bit so that everybody who doesn't speak any Dutch also understands what's going on. So as you can see, there is a charge being made by the Harlequins into the spawn. Actually, he rather used a CP on them. To use prismatic blur, which means that their info increases to a 3-up, and now he is making a extra move with those guys, which they can do for another CP, just pulling out, so that actually they'll be free and out of combat for next round. That's a ability that the Harlequins have. Which is a very good ability and adds that extra bit of mobility, and will make it harder for for Dean to actually retaliate in combat in his turn.
All right, I have the scores.
You have the scores? All right,
So,
bring us the scores.
As you saw, Ori flew in with those jet bikes and tried to put a whole lot of hurt on that center assault drill you can see over there. But he didn't manage to pop it for one wound.
Okay, so it survived.
So it survived on one wound. Then he charged the spawn with his jet bikes, fought in close combat a little bit, nothing too amazing, and then used a stratagem to fly back out. And that was the wrap up of his turn already. He deployed scramblers in his own deployment zone and scored 2 points on engage in all fronts. But this is what his turn has
Yeah,
been.
interesting turn actually. So what's the?
So he's
so
got
you're already telling me, right?
2 points.
Yeah. 2 points for
Ori.
on the engage on
Yeah.
all fronts. Yeah, and he did a deploy scramblers in his deployment zone,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the middle one.
No, in his deployment zone.
Okay. So actually, let's take a quick gander at the side view. So we're going to update the score. There we go. There we go. 2 points on the
Yeah, that's
deploy on all fronts. Of course, as with any mission, you can't do the primary in the first turn. So, but Ori has very neatly set himself up to be able to score the primary on the second turn. I'm really interested in seeing what Dean's going to do to try to counter that.
And the CPs are 4 for Ori and 6 for Dean.
Yeah, because Ori already spent a lot of CP, one
Yeah.
for fire and fade away, and one for probably fighting again. Is that correct? Or-
No, I don't think he did. We see the spawn moving into the center.
And 7 for Dean. Okay. And there we go. We're going into Dean's second turn.
It was a risky move by Dean of deploying so bunched up, because I think if that drill would have been popped,
Yeah, he would have had trouble disembarking actually. Yeah, that's a huge deal that the thing survived, because if that drill was popped, Dean would have had a lot of trouble just disembarking the unit inside. And what's inside is actually a pretty a pricey unit of Death Guard Marines, if I'm not mistaken, and those guys play a very big role in Dean's army. Because if he loses a lot of them, that's actually a big blow. Those Death Guard are a lot of the damage that this list does, and also a lot of the staying power, right? Being infantry and being on objectives and performing actions. That would have been a big blow to Dean if he did lose them.
yeah.
So here we go. Here we see Dean going up the board here with one of his plague crawlers. So those plague crawlers are fully kitted out to be actually ranged. As we know, plague crawlers. You can give plague crawlers some heavy flamers, but he didn't in this case. This case, they I don't know what they're called, but they're effectively they're the last cannon variants for Death Guards. So we've got some chat going on saying that you know,
entropy cannon.
people were worried. Yeah, people were worried for Dean that if the Terex drill would have been popped, he would have had trouble because all the passengers were killed. However, actually there is a strat that allows passengers to disembark within, I do believe it's within
6 inches.
6 inches
But
of the thing.
yeah, there's still a lot of chances you can get
Well,
mortal
he could,
wounds.
yeah, he could have disembarked, but he would have to disembark them probably in front of the spawn.
Yeah.
And then the Harlequins could have charged the Plague Marines instead of the spawn, and pretty much dealt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here in the middle we see the Plague Marines disembarking from the drill. That's on one moon. They're making a sigh of relief. You see the spawn here, screening the Death Guard a little bit, standing on that center top objective. They're talking about it being a 7-inch charge for the Death Guard to the Harlequin bikers. Yeah, there's another unit of Dean doing some measuring here. He seems to be having a tough time thinking about how he's going to crack this egg. I mean, those bikers, I mean, for Eldar, they are actually very resilient. The center unit, I do believe, has a 3-up invul right now, as he used prismatic blur on those guys. There are only how many objectives are there actually?
4.
4. There's one, the top center, bottom center, and then one in each of the deployment zones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least in front of each one. So as it is right now, Ori is standing on 2 of them. It's going to be hard to shift all that Harlequin stuff off that objective actually.
Yeah, he's got a lot of units just sitting there. Well, the spawn might do a little bit, but
So the termite drill on 1 wound still moves 7 inches. Very nergly.
and that means it had to assault, right? Advance, I mean.
He moved them back now. Here comes the Demon Prince. He's going to stay in range of those Plague Burst Crawlers to actually provide that reroll once to hit. Make them a little bit more effective in shooting. Dean really needs to be careful with his movement here, because if he allows those Harlequins to just move around and do as they please, they're going to start going into his back ranks, which isn't a good sight, because then they'll be able to start picking off like key characters that are walking around those Death Guard, providing some buffs.
Yeah. Now, I don't know why you think it, but the Plague Burst Crawler actually are kitted out with Plague Spitters.
I think. Oh, I thought they had the last cannon things.
No.
So they actually are. Okay, so that would make sense that why he's moving them up a bit more, just to get them within range. because Harlequins, pretty much all the Harlequins have a built-in -1 hit, and the Plague Spitters will be ignoring that. So that's actually makes a bit more sense then. Yeah.
Yeah, and 2 of those would could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, the flames. Yeah, they're basically strength 5 flamers, right? Heavy
Depends
flamer.
on if they're bracketed or not.
Yeah.
The strength depends on the Plague Burst crawlers
Yeah,
themselves.
exactly. But they start out at strength 5, I do believe.
Cultists coming out to claim the objective.
Yes. Yep, Hugh says incoming Blight Bombardment. Yeah, that's correct. The character moving up. And that's going to be a very... So here we go. 1 CP being paid. For a Cloud of Flies going off on the... I do believe on the cloud. I'm going to ask. Dean! B is the Cloud of Flies? Oh, the Plague Marines. Cool. Thanks. You apply the plague of good morning.
Cloud of Flies.
Cloud of Flies going on the Plague Marines.
Which means you can only target them if they're the closest target, right?
Blades of Putrefaction going down on the Death Guard Plague Marines. So that's reroll to wound, I do believe, like full rerolls. Not being denied by Ori. So that goes off. Miasma of Pestilence going on the 1 wound drill, try and protect him. Oh, no, he changes his mind now. So going off on the bottom Plague Crawler, so that one's now -1 hit. Oh yeah, that's right. So Blades of Putrefaction is actually on 6s to wounds and mortal wound, and Dean just gave them +1 strength, +1 toughness with a psychic power. So they're actually kitted out to be quite dangerous now.
Quite nasty, yeah.
So they're probably gonna go in now. So yeah, so Ori, so we're going into the shooting phase here. Ori paying 2 CP to emit an aura for my one, not an aura. It's -1 hit on the bikers, and there also pretty much his entire army is also -1 wound because there's one of his characters emitting that aura amidst his army. So they're actually quite resilient now. So that's the first of the Plague Burst crawlers going into one of the Harlequin gunboats.
I'm just gonna get in a little bit closer.
All right, first few units taking off that Harlequin transport from the bottom Plague Burst crawler, or actually the middle Plague Burst crawler. So the bottom Plague Burst crawler is now going in there as well with all its weaponry, same target. So those plague splitters on the crawlers are actually poisoned weapons, which is insane. So it's reroll to wound. So nothing from the bottom plague bear crawler actually, or you're making all his 4-up saves, and Dean just failing the wound here. Yeah, but it's not going very well actually so far, this shooting phase for Dean. -1 hit doing a lot against the plague bear scrollers as the only hit on a 4-up to begin with. Yeah, no wounds on the top one as well. So this is the Blight spawn with his flamer going into the Harlequin bikers. Dean expended 1 CP to increase his range by 6 inches because the soaring, what's it called? The frozen stars actually debuff the enemy's weapons range by 6 inches. However, the plague spitter or the plague caster actually failing to do any wounds here. It's not been going very much in Dean's way here. The trickery of the Harlequins really showing through here. There's a lot of trickery here. -1 hit, -1 wound, -6 range. This is some rapid firing being done by the Death Guard into the same target. That's it. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, just failing to do a single wound. Ah, that's incorrect. 2 wounds on the Harlequin transport. Here we have some charges going down, folks. So. The chat telling that the tension is palpable in the air. Here goes some spawn. Actually, these spawn are quite deadly in combat, so I'm very curious to see how they are going to fare against the space clouds. Alright, here go the Plague Marines in the center Harlequin bikers. Here we go. 5 inches. Woo. Or 7. Yep, he's gonna have to reroll. So CP for reroll. Alright, it's reroll. He rolled like a 10. So anyway, enough room for the Death Guard to move in. Would have been a big deal actually if that charge would have failed, because that Death Guard unit is pretty buffed. And this is extra movement for the Death Guard, which they could really use. All right. So Dean starting off with the Plague Marines. Because Ori does have 2 CP left to interrupt if he does want to. Yeah, so Dean just explaining what the unit does. Yeah. Yeah, so Oris is deciding if he wants to extend the -1 to wound power in the combat phase as well. So he's going to actually pay CP for that. So Harlequins are again -1 to wound. He opted to do so because that Death Guard unit being buffed and all just deals a lot of damage. They could wipe out those Harlequin bikers. And Dean just activated Veterans of the Long War for +1 to wound against those guys. So basically those two powers are going to negate each other. And we'll see. So here come the Death Guard. So hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s actually, and then 6-ups here on the 2 wound rolls from the Death Guard are going to do mortal wounds. So here come the flails, which are 2 flails, 2 for 43 attacks. There's a lot of 2s actually in there. Strength 3s to wound here. Ah, yeah. So it's actually wounding on 2s because of the Blades of Putrefaction and the Veterans of the Long War. So 1 goes through, 3-up invul there, very powerful. So 1 bike so far bites the dust here from the flails. Now to see if the knives can do anything here. Yeah, 3s to wound here, 6s will do mortal wounds. Oh, 2s to wound. Oh, actually a few 6s, 2 mortal wounds. Oh, it's 8 saves and 2 mortal wounds there. Actually, quite a fair bit. What? 3-up invul? Oh, so exactly enough to do. Yeah, exactly. So he deals 2 damage from the weapons and then 2 mortal wounds from the Blades of Putrefaction. So 1 more bike dies and 1 goes down and 1 wound. So okay, all in all, brought down 2 bikes, but not super devastating. So now So, or in opting not to interrupt here, you'll just take the attacks from the spawn. Oh, there. Oh, they roll very low for their amount of attacks. Just 11 attacks with 5 of them. Oh, sorry, roll this bonus for the spawn, so that's extra attacks. So that's fortunate for Dean, because he could use that. So he rolled 26 attacks now from 5 spawn. Hitting on 4s. Wounding on 4s with the -1 to wound, because they're strength 5. Pretty poor roll actually for it to hit. Force to wound here. Eight, but mind you, these are damage too. So these are 4 ups here. Oh no, 3 ups as well. He cast only filled 1. Oh, that's a roll right there. Oh, okay, so that's big. Because those spawn could have done a lot of damage to those buggers. But he only filled 1 3-up invul. Prismatic Blur really coming in here. Clutch. Yeah, I think that's going to be disappointing for Dean. He didn't expect that. So Harlequins now getting a chance to attack back. They are equipped with the spears. Or the good weapons, that's to say. The damage 2 weapons. So 3s to hit here. So each weapon also dealing 2 damage here. Strength 4 from the weapons against the toughness 5 of the spawns. Another clutch roll. 6 5-ups to wound them. So 6 wounds. Dean only saving 1. Oh dear, yeah. Yeah, that's like 10 damage going. Oh, that's on. Oh, sorry, that's on the death guard. Oh, my bad, guys. So that was. Feel no pains going through. 4 are killed. Ouch, you. Yeah, that's not good. That's not the exchange Dean wants, guys. I didn't think Dean was expecting to kill them all, but he was expecting to kill more and just, just tie them down. Because the thing is, they would have been locked in combat and then they could have retreated, sure. But they wouldn't be able to charge anything when retreating out of combat. Or actually, his actually might be able to do, because Harlequins. I might have to check that. So many rules. I don't think these can though. That might be like the redeeming factor here for Dean, but I'll check that in a minute. So these are the other Harlequins, guys, attacking into the spawn now. Another pretty good roll. He needs 5s again here. Strength 4 versus toughness 5. That's another good roll. What? Holy shit. Guys, these Harlequins have turned their weapons onto... Oh, wait, that's a good roll. That was well deserved for Dean, I should say, actually, because those... So that's a Feel No Pain. Okay, so that could have been way more devastating, because Dean just rolled a decent amount of 5-up invuls as well. Yeah, so Dean actually letting out a sigh of disappointment. He said, well, that was a bad turn for me, and I tend to agree. He should have done a lot more damage, but Ori's saves were really, really hot, and he just turned on all the power. So basically, Ori did blow through almost all of his CP, but it did make it so that most of his stuff survived. So this could be a little troublesome for Dean. So when Jonathan comes back to the booth, we'll see what the score is. Okay, so here comes Jonathan with the score. That was, Jonathan, if I'm not mistaken, that was a pretty poor turn for Dean, actually.
Yes. I don't think Dean punched as hard as he wanted to, but
No.
I've seen Ori make some super hot
Yeah,
rolls.
super hot saves, and super hot rolls
so
for damage.
He killed a lot of
Yeah.
Death Guard
Four
Marines,
of them went down, yeah.
and he did some damage on the spawn. But yeah, like we said, like he took almost no casualties.
No,
maybe
it,
two or
two
three-
bikers were
two,
dead.
two bikers.
Two
yeah.
bikers and 2 wounds on one of the transports.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not optimal.
So
What's
now-
what's the score for Dean? What did he do?
Dean scored nothing.
Nothing this turn, huh?
Nothing yet.
So he has nothing on the primary, but that's, because of the first turn. So then he had vital intelligence, which
Yeah,
he
but
can.
vital intelligence, vital ground. You
Or vital ground, rather,
you
yeah.
You can score it.
The start of your command phase, right?
Yeah. So let me.
So he needs to do that in the beginning of his next turn.
Yeah.
So he has nothing for assassinate because he hasn't killed characters yet. And while we stand, we fight. He's about to lose one, I think, because are the
Yeah.
termites? No, the termite drill aren't, right. The
No.
3 targets to kill here are the plague burst crawlers.
No, there's 2 plague burst crawlers.
Yeah.
One with trees modeled on them, so I think that's the bottom ones.
Okay.
And then the demon prince are his highest.
Oh, really? Okay. So those 2, the bottom 2, and the demon prince are actually targets for Ori to kill to deny Dean his points. And then we'll take a look at vital intelligence here.
Vital ground.
Or vital. Yeah, I keep saying vital intelligence. Got that confused with another one, but it's vital ground. So vital ground saying at the end
Yeah,
of your command
At
phase,
the end of your command
Yeah.
phase, but you can't do it in the first one.
you score 3 points if you control the objective marking your opponent's deployment. So he needs to be in Ori's deployment zone. That's on the other side of the board.
Yeah.
And 2 if you score, 2 for each other one.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to try for 4. He's going to score 2 probably in his next turn.
Depends on if you can claim
Yeah.
the objectives.
Yeah, we'll see. But you can't do it in your first turn because it specifically says so. So we'll see. Interesting. So we see here. So the total score for now is 2-0
Yeah.
for Ori. So starting with a slight advantage here. But I'd say besides a point advantage, it's also a let's say a gameplay advantage. I'd say because Dean really should have done a lot more damage here than he did. That was a bit of a tough turn. Not that he lost a whole lot himself, although losing 4 of those plague marines right off the bat is a bit painful. But that was definitely a super turn 1 for Ori. That's a good start. We'll see if Ori can now break free and start, taking out the targets that he wants to. He wants to get, if he can, into the characters and also just start destroying those plague burst crawlers. As it is right now, all of his bikers with Haywire are currently locked in combat, which is good for Dean. So no Haywire as of yet going into those guys. So here come the fusion boats for a nice little broadside. The troop master just disembarked on the bottom center objective there. Yep, you saying it's time for some clown shenanigans. You know it, my brother, because these guys, if there's an army that has all the shenanigans, it's the Space Clowns. Turns out that if you ignore half the game's rules, your army is pretty good. I think Harlequin really is a thinking man's army, though, because it's actually one of those armies that if you make a mistake, you'll get punished for it real hard. It has just a lot of options. This army is like a Swiss Army knife, just being able to do like quite a lot of stuff here. So we'll see if Ori is able to wield this Swiss Army knife well enough to beat the intolerable Death Guard into submission. So we're doing some measuring here if he can actually land behind those spawn right there. Because if he can get into those cultists and remove them off the board, Dean won't score that objective, which is a big deal. Going into turn 2, by the way. So there we go. Turn 2. Ori getting a CP.
Je kan ook de player audio aanzetten als je wil.
Ja.
Ik weet niet in het Nederlands.
Doing my best to narrate the game for the peeps back at home here. So here we go. Making some moves here and there. We've got the gunboats moving up, so there are some deadly clowns with fusion pistols in there, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a character going up there. So if you avert your attention to the top left corner, you can see that there is now a menacing clown there behind the L-shaped ruin, who's able to take engage on all fronts for that quarter and deploy.
Menacing clown!
Yeah. Yeah, clown. Yeah. That's right, Yep Yahoo Solitaire enters stage left. Alright, going into the psychic phase. So Ori attempting Webway Dance on a 7, that's just enough. Dean deciding if he wants to deny that. Okay, so Dean's going to deny. It's a successful denial. And the smite. Oh, he rolled a 5 and a 6, so that's a super smite. Three mortal wounds. Oh, it's a peril, so he rolled double 6, actually. So that's a perils on the shadow seer. And then d6 mortal wounds into the spawn. So 3 mortal wounds into the spawn as well. So one's left on 1 wound, so nothing super amazing. Don't think that was actually worth it. 3 wounds on the Shadow Seer. Yep, so we're going to shooting phase. 3 fusion pistols now going into the bottom plague burst crawler. So the bottom one, mind you, has Miasma of Pestilence, so those are just hitting on 4s. 1 hit, relevant. So the fusion is doing nothing. So yeah, so the first unit not able to do anything. Miasma going in clutch, but that's 3 hits on another unit, so 3. Oof, yeah, that's a disappointment. So no wounds actually on the pig burst crawler. Yeah, really tough. Toughness 8 unit, ladies and gentlemen. Fusion also being strength 8. So he rolled 3 3s on this fusion for 2 wounds. So that's not enough. Dean being really happy. Yep. So we've got Haywire going into those bikes. Oh, yeah. So here's the haywire coming in. So 20 haywire shots now coming in. So on 4s to hit. Space Clowns. So hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s, but, you know, mortal wounds on 4s and then D3 mortal wounds on 6s. So this could be the one. Oh, that's yep. So only 3 4-ups. So just 3 mortal wounds, and then oh boy. So Dean saving 2. So just 1 wound on that plague beast crawler from all the haywire. That was not what Ori wanted as well, or neither. So 10 haywire shots now going into the top. No, he's trying to finish off the termite drill. Yep, so the termite drill is behind that black pillar. So the Ori will be suffering a -1 hit. He only needs to do 1 wound though, so 1 mortal wound. So if Dean, nope. So that thing's dead. Nope. So that one's dead. So it was only 1 wound. So yeah. So that's 2 points for bring them down, or yeah, 3 points rather. That's one of the termite drills down. The fusion from inside the Void Reaver, the Harlequin unit, failing to do anything. The spawn actually making their 5-up save. So the shuriken firepower not amounting to a whole lot right now. Hey, we've got Shop in the Twitch chat.
Yuppie!
Our resident Grot player. How's it going, mate? Saying love the Twitch pink design. Why, thank you very much. Fun fact, if you cut a Grot open, he's also pink inside. Didn't know if you know that. Okay, little confusion about which of the 18,000 gunboats have fired or not. Yeah. All the fusion pistols have shot already, and they didn't really do anything, like nothing. So that was a bit of a disappointment, because he needs to do the damage to those tanks rather sooner or later before they get disembarked and destroyed. So last boat now of the round. The Harleys are definitely having trouble doing the damage they need to right here. That's following the Death Guard having trouble as well. Seems neither armies are fully operational just yet.
Yeah, both armies are super durable in their own way, and they just depending on the dice, you just don't get through.
Exactly. Death Guard just having high toughness and lots of feel no pains and stuff, and Harlequins just having a lot of debuffs.
Debuffs, but also the high invulnerables on the bikes.
Exactly.
Lots of multi-wound models.
So that's the hallucination grenade, I think, doing D3 mortal wounds. Oh, one more fusion from the Troop Master going into. So fusion being a hit. Nope. Yeah, wounding on 4s is
yeah, it's tricky in this.
Yeah, fusion normally, usually wounding stuff on 3s, and he's been rolling 3s across the board, for all of his to wound rules in fusion. But yeah, those things are toughness 8.
Yeah.
Really hard to crack. Some would say stop with the flop.
Ik kom er gewoon niet doorheen. Vader, ik gooi je mijn allerbest.
So here come the Harlequins. So it's on boats, just tagging them, to keep those mortar guns from firing. Betty.
Oh, bikes are going in.
Yeah, so here goes the bikes into the Plague Burst Crawler and into the spawn. Now that's only like 1 or 2 more spawn, because there's one underneath the L-shaped building in the center, I do believe. Yeah, so this is... Yeah. So here goes the Harlequins. So this is the power of those Harlequins, man. They can just... They just ignore. They just ignore all the rules. They get charged.
Yeah.
And then they just move out. They fire, because that's what they can do. They don't even have to pay CP for any of that. No. That's their power. They can just do whatever they want. They move out, fire, and then just charge back in. Just pick up where they left off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. Really impressive. Nope. Okay, here come the Harlequins now to the Plague Marines. Or, wait, is he interrupting?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he's interrupting with the Death Guard.
Yeah, he's
fight
interrupting
against the jet bikes.
Yeah, so Dean paying 2 CP. So these are the flails. 2 wound roll. Wounding on 2s now. Or 3s, rather. Yeah, 2s to wound now, excuse me. Yeah, so he needs to make 4 saves here, and 1 mortal wound from the 6 up to wound. So 4 up invuls now.
Oh. But both players are, going through their CP quite quickly.
Yeah.
So it might be...
So Ori spending the CP to reroll a save. So 4 damage goes through. So 1 bites the dust, 1 gets 1 wound. plague knives now being drawn. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
a shit
even-
roll. Yeah, that's a shit roll right there.
Even though they're just like a basic troop unit, those plague marines
Oh,
are
they're buffed still.
buffed to high heavens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad roll. Nothing you can do
But
about
he
that.
rolled 2s, 4 to hit, so can't re-roll anything. So 1 wound going through, so no save. So 1 more dice, so that's actually nice for Dean. So 1 more dice.
But now everything fights. I think that's worth the 2 CP.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because those Harlequins are actually quite effective in combat as well.
Even though he whiffed the knife rolls.
Yeah, he
Still,
killed 2 still, so it's really not too bad.
Yeah, those flails are insane.
Yeah, yeah, those slaves are really good. Oh my, okay, so are you really not doing anything of note in combat? Or, excuse me, Dean not doing anything of note there? In that combat? With players commenting on how their rolls are very cold now for both of them, as alright, so 4 up invols.
Damn. That's the bubble of the ironclad furnace, right?
Yeah.
Death.
No, the ironclad furnace is, I do believe, like a 5 up film of pain for the termite drill, but the termite drill still gives a 4 up invul. It's brutal. Giving spawn a 4, like spawn normally don't have any saves,
Yeah.
but now with that thing around it, it's a 4 up save. It's really brutal. So those clowns are doing nothing in combat. Oh, so actually, Yap, you correcting me there. So you're right. Ironclad furnace actually being the
Yeah.
4 up invul.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man. Oof.
Yeah,
That's a lot of damage.
yeah. That's the spawn, man. That's brutal. So the spawn taking out actually 2 of those Harlequin Sky, or they always have these funky names. Jet bikers. That's the Harlequin biker gang.
No, I thought Ori was gonna be very.
He was in a position, but
Yeah.
that's the thing, right? This army that Dean has is just very durable.
Yeah.
They both didn't do anything because they rolled pretty poorly.
But still, it's a lot less
It's
purple on the board.
Yeah,
Than,
yeah.
Wait.
So they're now calculating scores. Yeah, that's the thing though. But usually these bikes are like the first units to go because they present the highest threats. But I don't think this is very good for Ori right now. He lost a lot of bikes, and losing bikes is one thing, but if you can trade them into stuff that you take away as well from your enemy, then you're actually making trades. But actually, Ori wasn't really trading anything here. He just lost his bikes. So now there's a lot of haywire gone. There's a lot of close combat gone. And I think Dean is actually in a good position to do some damage here. All right, let's go to the score screen, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so Ori scored 3 points on engage in all fronts, having a unit in each table quarter, and he scored 2 points for bring it down, because one of those drills is 10 wounds.
Yep.
giving me 2 points.
And he had 2 objectives on the primary, right?
Yeah,
So that's
2.
10 points.
So he's on a healthy 17 points, having deployed 2 scramblers, one in his deployment zone, one in the opponent's deployment zone. So he only has to do it in the mid board, and he'll get 10 points for that. All the while we stand, we fight units are still alive. Dean is looking for assassinate in this turn.
Yeah.
And Dean's only scored 5 points on the primaries, controlling only 1 objective.
Yeah.
And he didn't score anything on vital ground, so he's gonna get his head in the game now.
Yeah. So he's missed a turn of vital ground.
Yeah.
So his first turn.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though Ori lost a lot, he did prevent Dean from scoring, and there's at least that.
Yeah.
So I can put that in right now. So.
And I think both players are very low on command points at the moment.
Yeah, both are almost through. If I'm correct, Ori only has 1, and Dean had just gained 1 for 2 in total. Yeah, man, we'll see. So some of his stuff is locked on the bottom. He can't do anything with that, although his flamers will work in combat, so he might just...
Ori's on 1, Dean is on 4.
Oh, 4 actually, so he gained some then. Or he spent less than I... Okay. I'll adjust that. So 1 and 4. Alright, going back to the main screen. Alright, so top of turn, or actually bottom of turn 2. Going into Dean's turn for the Death Guard. We're now almost 1.5 hours into the game. There's 1 hour and 38 minutes left on the clock. A lot of time has gone into these first 2 turns. But I think after this, things might speed up a bit more after, you know, units have exited the stage in bloody fashion. So here comes some Chaos Cultists moving up the top side of the board. Or not. Dean changing his mind here. Yep. Top of turn 2, folks. And here comes the second unit of Death Guard and disembarking the last surviving termite drill. So the Plague Marines disembarking right up to that sky or that Void Reaver. Yeah, that's some more Death Guard.
That's a big drop.
Yeah, that's a big drop right there. There's some big plans those guys have. Probably going to destroy the vehicles and charge whatever's in there. Or that's probably the plan. I mean, a lot of Ori's army is actually focused on the bottom side, so a lot of Dean's attention is going to the bottom as well. Dean's probably going to take the center after this turn as well, killing that one jet bike, I imagine. And then we'll have some plague guard on the objective for vital intelligence next turn. And
there's no objective there.
oh no, just for vital intelligence. It just needs to be in. Oh, it needs to be on the objective. That's right. Yeah. So he's.
Yeah, I think Ori's going to have a bit of a tough time because he spent so much of his command points, and in his stratagems is where his durability comes from.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. All right, Miasma of Pestilence going on the same Plague Bear Crawler. Blades of Putrefaction on the Disembarked Death Guard. It's a Perils actually. Alright. Feel the pain saving 2. So 1 wound on the Playcaster. And now Blades of Putrefaction. Here we go. Here's the power train being engaged. Although it failed, so. Or actually succeeding, excuse me. So Blades of Putrefaction also going on there. So we've got shooting phase now. So the bottom Plague Bear's Crawler shooting its flamers. Yep, so reroll to wound. Okay, so 4 invul saves made. Four wounds on the okay. So now the top Plague Bear's Crawler firing its weapons into the top Void Reaver. This is the alright, so 2 wounds going on there. Oh no, excuse me, not the Void Reaver, on the Solitaire. So 2 wounds on the Solitaire, 3 left. Yeah, or he's not doing great on his saves. So I think it's only 1 wound left on that Void Reaver now. Alright, center Plague Bear's Crawler, Mortar going into the Solitaire. Alright, so the bombard cannon failing to kill the Solitaire. That's good news for Ori. Flame is going now into the leftmost bottom Void Reaver. Yep. No, so it's destroyed, no explosion. Clowns disembarking now. So At least one dies, from what I can see. Probably more, looking at Or's expression. Oh, 3 died. He rolled 3 ones. Oh, that's painful, especially on space clowns.
Yeah, that's the way to kill him.
Oh, just 2 left. That's painful. Well, they're gonna die anyway because of the charge. But or 2 died. Oh, okay. So sorry, 2 died, 3 left. But still 2. Yeah, that's not very lucky. Okay, so this is the termite drill, which is equipped with a storm bolter and a heavy melta
Cutter.
melta cutter. Okay. So 5 wounds into the disembarked troop. All right, so they're dead. Wound? Oh no wound. So the melta deflecting off the shadows here, or okay, so 3 ones going through. Now the grenade is left. Alright. Yeah, so the grenade taking out the character. So, yep, that's that unit just completely deleted. The Dean just asking some stats questions. Okay, this is the Playcaster, I do believe, or what's the character called with the scary flamer?
Fall Blightspawn, I believe.
Yeah, Fall Blightspawn, exactly. Flaming into the Shadow Seer, or whatever character is standing at the bottom in the middle of those Void Weavers.
Those 3 spawn are still there.
Yep. Yep, Hugh says he's called Absolute Legend. Yeah, that's about right. That's probably the most deadliest flamer ever invented. I don't know what they put into that Molotov cocktail that they then squirt on you. But yep, so that guy is deleted. He's been converted to the Church of Nurgle now. Alright, so the spawn are now charging in. Dean was gonna try and wrap those guys, but Ori said it's empty, don't bother. So Dean said, "You can tell me what to do. He's gonna do it anyway." So yeah, so they're gonna destroy that Void Reaver and take the objective from Ori. And then there's 5 spawn, and they're just gonna casually camp on there. That Ori probably can't do anything about anymore. There's a lot of key units being destroyed here by Dean.
Yeah, Dean's army can just do a lot of stuff in almost any phase.
Yeah,
he can do a lot. He can do a lot in the shooting phase. He can do a lot in the psychic phase. He can do a lot in the fight phase. So yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's rough going for Ori right now. That's for sure.
But I also maybe have the idea that like, Ori is sort of giving Dean what he wants. Maybe it would have been better for Ori if he just danced around it
A bit more,
a little longer.
A bit more, yeah. Just keep your distance. Throw out some more haywire shots.
Yeah, whittle down the hard-hitting units.
That's what I thought in the beginning as well. That's why I thought Dean was giving Ori the first turn. Because he wanted, because
To bait him out.
Dean knew that Ori could dance around him if he wanted to, and maybe he wanted, like you
Ori
said,
to take the board.
yeah, to come at him, and yeah. Yeah, yep, you're seconding our thought. Harleys don't do the head-to-head fight well. No, not really. Well, they do head-to-head fights well, but not for 2 turns in a row,
Yeah.
right? They can do head-to-head fine, just not for when it turns into a slugfest. That's when they die, right?
Yeah.
But that's our sentiment as well. We think the Harlequins and Ori got a little greedy. Their murderous rampage. Those squinty little clown eyes,
Yeah.
seeing blood, smelling blood. through
Honking their noses.
Yeah. We're coming for you. Well, yep, to be fair, it was a bit of a hit and run because he retreated those Harlequins back out of combat, but not far enough. Okay, so we've got combat going on here. So forced to hit, so these are the spawn, I imagine. Or are they the spawn? Oh no, these are the bottom spawn into the character. So bottom spawn, no, so yeah, he's just gone. 3 spawn, eating him up. No, 2 spawn rather, eating up the poor Harlequin space clan. So that's a lot of attacks coming from the other unit spawn now on the top, going into the Void Reaver. That's a poor roll. Forced to hit needed. Well over half missed. Only 3 wounds, so that Void Reaver might actually live. So 3 forbs required to live. No, so he still died. Okay. So there was briefly a small spark of hope for that lone Void Reaver, but he was dragged down by the seething mass of flesh that is Chaos Spawns. Chaos Spawns always remind me of the movie The Thing. Have you seen that movie, The Thing?
Yeah, I did. I saw a new version though. That wasn't. I want to see the original one.
Yeah. Man, imagine like being in The Thing and then The Thing just coming at you, trying to kill you. Now imagine that there's 5 of them just coming at just pure horror. Okay, so here are the Death Guard attacking into the Void Reaver in the bottom. Just a lot of Plague Knives scratching off the paint of that Void Reaver. I imagine that thing's dead. But you never know. Dice rolls have been pretty crazy this game actually, so... So 4 is required to wound with rerolls because of plague weapons. Can't reroll... Yeah, exactly. So the 3 mortar wounds coming through from the Blades of Putrefaction. The 3 mortar wounds already enough to kill it. Doesn't explode. So 5 Harlequins need to disembark now. I do believe Ori is paying a CP to do emergency disembarkation, or otherwise those Harlequins are dead. Yeah, so he needs to disembark those guys with a emergency disembarkation within 6 inches, so, but that's enough. So Ori is just looking at his options of where he might disembark with his eye on his turn that's coming up. It's actually quite a cheeky little maneuver you can do with emergency disembarkation, just for some extra movement. And now all of a sudden there's Harlequins in Dean's deployment zone almost. Okay, so the lone Harlequin Skyweaver in the middle, fighting the 4 Plague Marines. Alright, so managing to kill one. So these are the flails. 1 wound from the flails. Oh, so the flail's not killing it. Just 1 more knife attack. If he lives. So just that's. Yep, no, that's a surviving jet biker, which could be actually quite annoying because those things can disembark and just still, or disengage rather, and just do anything they want. Hey, CJ, welcome in the chat, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to the Alliance Open No Surrender. We are having a great game of Death Guard versus Harlequins right here. Alright, so that's end of the turn for Dean. Okay.
Alright, so
Yep.
Dean managed to score 9 points on its assassinate secondary objective.
Because he killed 3 characters?
Killed 3 characters. Ori has 2 command points at the moment. Dean has 0. So we're going to see a little less fancy tricks. As it stands, Dean has 14 victory points, and Ori's up to 27, but he already did score his primary for the
Yeah,
third turn.
that's with 2 objectives of this turn. Yeah, so yeah.
So it's
So at the end, at the end score wise, at the end of turn 1, it's 17 points, or round 2 rather.
yeah.
It's 17 points for Ori to Dean's 14. So Ori is still in a slight lead, but Ori is taking some heavy casualties.
Yeah, he's taking a bit of a beating on the board.
Yeah. But he's not done though. He still has his solitaire, which is now going to blitz up the board. You know, doing his crazy murder clown business. And Ori going up to 2 CP in his current term, so having 2 objectives. Yeah, that's right. So having his deployment side objective and then the center bottom one still for this turn. I reckon this is going to be the last turn probably. Although, are there still clowns inside those 2 Skyweavers? I'm not too sure. Actually, I think there are. Yeah, because
there is in both of them.
Both of them still is a unit of 5 troop. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, there's still lots of play left for Ori, right? He has 5 troop.
Yeah, he's got
the,
engaging all
bottom
fronts
left,
that he can do. If he can bring some more units down, if he can bring it down on those 2 bottom plague burst crawlers, they're worth 8 points. At the moment because they count for while we stand we fight and for bring it down.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If he can pop 1 or 2 of those, that's a giant whack of points he can rack up there.
Okay, very interesting. So so that one center void or Skyweaver survived, that one guy in the center. So I was just commenting on that. It's quite annoying because that guy can just disembark and do anything he wants.
Players discussing secondaries.
Yeah, they're talking about. So hold on, actually they've switched something. Could you go ask? Because they were talking about Ori not being able to do. Okay. Okay, so there's actually going some extra shenanigans.
This is
So just when you think that Harlequins don't have enough shenanigans in game, now they're actually outside the game. So what's going on here? Because they were talking about Ori not being able to do deploy scrambler action with a character, and he's actually correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did a top left Harlequin solitaire coming in out of deep strike. He wanted to do deploy scrambler action with that guy, but he couldn't do that because it's a character. So he's talking about switching to.
We're retroactively switching deploy scramblers.
Oh, it's controversial.
For raise the banners high.
All right, so deploy scramblers is being replaced by raise the banners high. Okay, so that's actually quite sporty from Dean then to be able to allow that. Raise the banners. And how many points then did he score for raise banners? Because he now raised which banners then? His deployment
well,
zone banner?
since they did it retroactively,
Yeah.
they scored.
He raised the banners on his.
He raised
yeah.
the banner in the first turn in his own deployment zone, and
Yeah.
that scored him 1 victory
Yeah,
point.
and now he's doing it, or last turn he did it on the bottom objective.
Yeah, and then
Because one of the troops could have done it.
yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay, so that's a bit of a switcheroo right there. Yeah, okay.
Alrighty.
We're going with it. So that's 3 points for raise the banner. So that actually increases Ori's score to 3 more, right?
So this makes me realize I've played this deploy scramblers wrong for quite a while.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, all the people I've played.
Hold on. Left scores, raise the banner 3 points. So his points go up. So it's actually 20 to 14 then now. If my calculations are correct.
Yes.
Oh boy, yeah. Okay, so we switched. We've done it. We're good. So it's 20 to 14. It's controversial, but we're going with it. We'll allow it.
Controversial nonetheless.
We are generous gods.
If the player, it's their game, you know. So if the players choose to do it like this, then
Yes, I guess. Well, we'll just say nothing more about it.
we'll just pretend that it was
Yeah.
like this from the
All
beginning.
along. Ah.
It's, as you see in Warm, it's quite easy to rewrite history.
Yeah. Well, history is usually being written by the victor.
Yeah.
Okay, we are now well into the shooting phase. So this is fusion going into the. Okay, 1 fusion going through into the Plague Burst Crawler, the bottom one. So 3 wounds, feel no pain. 1 wound left on that bottom Plague Burst Crawler. It's about to go down. He just needs to tip it over now.
That's a lot of points, man.
Yep. Oh. Feel no pain. Four fusions now coming from another troop squad. Man, all the fusion this army. Like fusion death. So he's throwing 4 fusion pistols into that one Plague Burst Crawler with 1 wound left. Just to make sure it dies. 4s, 1 wound. He makes it. You make this save. Yeah, oh man. The grenade.
Yeah, they can soak so much damage.
That 1 wound Plague Burst Crawler just deflected 4 fusion pistols. Yeah. He needs to charge it now or something. Alright, so some haywire going into it. So D6 shots of haywire. He just needs to do like 1 or 2 mortal wounds. So 1 wound going through. 7 mortal wounds from that 3 hits going through. No, so the Plague Burst Crawler has been down.
Wow.
That's one, and also one of the while we stand, we fight points denied for Dean.
5 points denied.
Yep. I think it's a tricky one actually. While we stand, we fight.
Yeah, it depends on your army. Like with the Riptides, it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, here's the thing that I'm.
Okie dokie.
And here's my thoughts on it. While we stand, we fight. requires you to survive, which means
Yeah.
you're actually giving your opponent the opportunity to mess with your plans,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're giving your opponent agency
Yeah.
over how you score your game. There are other missions in this game that really don't give your opponent agency.
Yeah, you know, another way of looking at it, and that's the way I like looking at it. It's a mission that will help you win if you're already winning.
Yeah,
So if you're already winning,
Yeah.
you will win more.
yeah, it's a win more mission. Yeah,
But if you're like, it won't help you win when you're in a tight spot,
no, exactly.
and that's.
So Danny says, if my opponent is sinking all his firepower in my toughest units, I'm okay with it. Yeah, here's the thing though, Danny. What else is he going to put his heavy firepower in on? Right? Because usually your heavy firepower is meant to do that anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he could throw all his fusion into the Plague Marines or anything. Yeah. Well, here's another thing. Those tanks are scoring you. So that's my point with bring him down. Then he's saying like, you know, if you throw all your firepower on my tough tanks, sure they are my bring him down targets, but you know you're wasting your shots into my tough tanks. I'd simply say that's not entirely true because now I've spent a lot of effort into destroying a tank that just cost you 5 points. So, right? It could also be a tough tank that I'm throwing my firepower in that doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm not quite sure if I would do that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It puts more value into the tanks.
Yeah,
It puts more game value into the
Yeah, yeah.
tanks, while sometimes
you want those,
their
yeah.
output isn't that amazing, and if you just ignore them for a few turns, it
Yeah,
turns
yeah.
out fine. But
Exactly.
if you pick that mission,
Exactly.
you know you're gonna have to put firepower into
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I'd give or take somewhere. If you can pop the other one, then he's gonna get a lot of scoring.
If you can pop another one, Dean's in trouble. I don't. Well, I mean, there's still a lot of troops on the board actually,
Yeah.
so it's not done by a long stretch. Okay, so that's shooting done. We're going into the charge phase now. So not a whole lot more happened besides killing the Plague Bear's crawler. Yeah, see, that's where I think we disagree a little, Danny. I'm not really scared of the Plague Bear's crawlers. Sure, they do damage, but it's not like I can afford to let them just do that thing. I'll lose stuff, but it's not that I'll lose that much that I can't plan for it, right? It's not like, oh, I absolutely need to deal with them, or I'll just straight up die in 3 turns. That's not the case. But you are right about, this edition with all its secondary rules does provide for lots of options on how you play your game. Because I'm not saying there's no merit in doing the while we stand we fight, because it can be good. It's just it's a little I'm a little on the fence about it. Okay, so the Harlequin troops have charged the Death Guard now, trying to do some damage, and the other Harlequin troop unit has charged the other Plague Burst Crawler. Yes, to your question, yep, both those units have troop masters. So yeah, with the kisses and the things and the power weapons, they can do some work against the Plague Marines for sure. That's where you charge them in.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in close to see what's
Yeah.
going on.
All right, here we go. So here goes the what's it called? The solitaire going in there. Yeah, the solitaire is teaching the cultists on how to properly murder people. But yeah. Wow, so yeah. Yep, so 4 plague marines just bit the dust. Yeah, 5 plague marines just. So now that was just the troop master. Oh man, crazy. That's just the troop master killing like 5 of those guys. Oh, sorry. I have to adjust.
This is your 60-minute mark. This is your 60-minute
There we go,
mark.
turn 3. Turn 3, top of turn 3, folks, for Harlequin Frozen Stars. Yeah, so the Harlequins can actually do some work as well. They aren't equipped with like the expensive weapons though, because that makes those units like hella expensive. So, strength 5, reroll to wound going into those plague marines. 3 wounds so far. 6 wounds, AP minus 2, 1 damage each. So 2 wounds going through, feel no pains now. So no damage, just deflecting on the armor and feel no pains. They are disgustingly resilient indeed. So 2 more wounds on. So 1 wound going through, cheeky. Last wound. That's actually quite some damage on the plague marines, although there are still like 2 plague marines standing with the flails, so they could wipe out the Harlequins actually. So here's the troop of 5 into the plague burst crawler. Okay, 3 wounds going through on the Plague Burst Crawler. Feel no pains now for Dean. Two damage going through. Oh boy. Alright, these are the regular blades. So the other ones were the Harlequin's kisses, I presume. These are just the blades. 1 wound going through from the regular weapons. Yeah, so those aren't going to do a lot of damage to a Plague Burst Crawler. They just aren't equipped for that. So I believe now up is the Solitaire, who's going to mincemeat the little cultists. Yeah, so 3s, rerolling to wound. Eight going through with AP minus 1. Just straight up 8 cultists were just decapitated. Yeah, that Solitaire is a beast. Yeah, Phantom of the Opera music intensifies. Da 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 da. You're dead. And now he puts his mask back on and goes back into the shadows for his second act. Okay. So all in all, not going bad. see, everything is locked now, so this is actually could be good, because, like I said, Ori is locking a lot of stuff in the bottom half of the board, and that actually might enable him to keep that bottom objective, which could be really big. Okay, so here's the like the bottom center unit that's engaged with the spawn and the single character in front of the Void Weavers or Reavers. So these are the Harlequins' caresses. Yeah, failing to kill the Plague Caster. I mean, Harlequin's caresses are pretty good because they're strength 5 with reroll to wounds and then AP -2, but they only do 1 damage, which is less good. So this is going into the spawn right here. Okay, so this is the character now hitting back. 1 wound going through. Ori making his clown save. Alright, so here's 3 Plague Marines. The flails going into the lone Void Weaver, or Sky Weaver, Star Weaver, Cloud Weaver, Weaver of Star, I don't know. Yeah, so he's dead. He's really dead. Yep. Curtain fall for you. Well, that was to be expected. Oh, there's a CP reroll. Doesn't want him to die. Oh, so he rolled a 1 for his CP farming thing. So that was actually a free reroll, saving his last remaining Void or Sky Weaver. So that was a little lucky. Look. Yeah, so here come the bottom Plague Marine unit into the Harlequin troop. That's a lot of misses actually. Alright, so 2s are reeling 1s now, and 6s are mortal wounds. I see a lot of 6s. Yeah, 4 mortal wounds, so 4 just die off the bat. Yeah, there's the bane of 4 invuls, just dealing mortal wounds. Yeah, so they're deleted. That's just 4. That's just 4 Plague Marines just casually deleting those guys like it's nobody's business. There we go. Alright, no damage being done to the center combat by the one more of the cultists runs away. The other one, one's terrified. The other one also runs away. He was ready to stand his ground, but not without his buddy. Okay, so that's it for this turn. So Ori is still being in 4 quarters of the table. Because the troop master, or the solitaire rather, is in the top left. Yeah. Let's go to the scoreboard and await Jonathan's return.
All right, so. Ja, je mag hem ook gewoon even iets bekijken.
Well, after we're done with it.
Ik kom zo naar je toe. Ja, dankjewel. Man, I'm so surprised of how deadly everything is.
Everything's quite deadly.
Everything is so
Everything
murderous.
is quite deadly, isn't it?
Just units are being wiped, and then one guy stays alive,
Yeah.
and then he wipes the unit that did.
Yeah, it's like a combat of just utter maniacs.
Yes. All right. So Ori scored engage in all fronts for 3 and
Right.
bring it down for 3.
Mm.
But 5. There are 5 points hidden in while we fight. We stand. While we stand,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
fight in
Yep,
in these
yep.
points. And he scored 2, raise the banner. So at the end of Ori's turn, he's got quite a lot of stuff. He's got 20 on the primaries.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 8 on engage in all fronts, 5 on bring it down, and 3 on raise the banners.
5 on bring it down. He's got 1 more raise or 2 more raise the banner points.
Yeah.
So going to 5 as well.
No. This is the 2 is on the beginning of his turn.
So he's got 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dean has scored 5 and 5 on the primaries, 2 on vital ground, and we're gonna have to see how he goes into this turn. But yeah, he's. I
So
think
it's 36 to 14 is what you're saying.
that is. That depends on how you count.
Well, I'm counting according to your
21 is what Dean has.
21.
Yeah.
How?
2 times 5 on the primaries.
All right. So yeah. So 5 more on the primary exactly. So he's done vital
Yeah.
for 2. Yeah, that's in his turn exactly. Oh, this is because Ori started.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're not doing that yet. Okay, so 36 for Ori. There we go. To currently Dean's
21.
Yeah, 21. So, because at the beginning of this turn he scores 10 more, so he goes to 20. Or 5 more, he goes to 10.
The spawn are incoming.
2. And then he's got 9, and then while he's standing fight, he's still working on it, so he's got 21 in total. And then he still needs to do his secondaries for this turn. Okay, very interesting. So this is bottom of turn 3, going on right now. Dean starting his march up the board with his spawn, so they're gonna go for the few units that are in the center of Ori's deployment half, inside that Incronian forest over there. And the other the top Plague Burst Crawler are moving back to try and deal with the Solitaire. Okay, so Dean's weighing his options here. He's thinking, what do I do? What do I do here?
Heb je een fles of zo? Want je moet ook water drinken, man, anders ga je dood. Ik ben het.
Okay, so Dean's in his psychic phase already. So movement's done. Not a whole lot of movement. Some smites going off into that troop. So we're off into the shooting phase now. Termite drill, shooting its heavy, yeah, it's twin linked heavy, no, not heavy bolter, but storm bolter. Dealing 1 wound to the Skyweaver. So 2 more wounds on the Skyweaver. Could be enough to kill it. Alright, so 1 reroll or else it dies. So, or he goes down to 1 command point, but does save his Sky Weaver. So the bottom Plague Burst Crawler. Now making its shots. So this is the Plague Spears going into one of the Sky Weavers in the bottom. So 6 saves required on that Sky Weaver. 3 wounds going through. Okay. So here come more flamers into that lone Skyweaver from the top Plague Burst Crawler. Yeah, it needs to make 7 saves here. Oh, excuse me, on this Solitaire, rather. 1 wound left on that Solitaire. It fails to kill it, so it's still standing. Singing, I'm still standing. Again, Phantom of the Opera music intensifies. So the thing is though that it isn't screened anymore. So that's a bolt pistol coming from the Plague Marines into the going into the Solitaire. But fails to wound him, so he's still alive. Okay, some more shots going into it. He really wants it dead. 2 saves, 3 ups required, or 4 ups required. So these are the center 3 Plague Marines now going into that Void Weaver in the bottom. Alright, so actually Dean lamenting on the fact he's not doing the things he needs to do. He's not bringing down either the Solitaire or the Skyweaver or anything, in fact. Ori responding that this might be the turn he needs, but doesn't deserve. I may have added some part to that sentence. You can figure out at home which part. Stupid clowns. This is a real tense game. I don't know about you guys at home, but I'm certainly enjoying this because this is getting exciting. So there's a charge from the Plague Marines going into that Void Weaver gunboat. He needs to get rid of that Solitaire or it's just going to do its business once more. Yappyhoo commenting that his butt cheeks were indeed clenched since the start. Indeed. Okay, so here goes. I think D needs to put that Demon Prince in action. Oh, so he doesn't. Okay, interesting. Okay, so here come the Plague Marines with the flails into the Void Weaver. Star Weaver, yeah, sure. Star Weaver. Probably all the Harlequin players in the world listening to this podcast are just really irritated by the way I'm constantly mislabeling units here. I'm sorry, but I don't identify as a Void Weaver per se. Oh, we've got GSC Talarian saying he was a bit worried about the scoring in 9th, but after a few games and better reports, he thinks it's way better in 8th edition in terms of tracking and counting. Sure. It's true. It's far more. You can just play to how you want to play this game. There are just so many several options of secondaries. You could go like pure positioning in this game, or you could do some more missions where you're required to kill. But it's definitely a very interesting new addition, and I think it's an improvement. So Dean managing to kill this Star Weaver. Okay, so all charges have been done. So Ori now activating the 3 remaining troop members in the bottom center. Yeah, he's going for the character. He's going for the platecaster here. It's a bit of a whiffer though. Oh. Okay, so 2 going through. Alright, so 2 wounds going through. Actually killed the platecaster. So those 3 clowns slowly winning that combat. Probably a little infuriating to Dean. Alright. One wound going through to the spawn. He's left on 1 wound. Oof, 6 attacks on the spawn. Oh boy, and extra attacks on the bonus. So 8 attacks coming from that single spawn, needing forced to hit. But, wow. Does he have reroll 1s? He's out. Yeah, no, he's out. So no reroll 1s. Just 1 and fails to wound. Yep. And there you have it. Opera music intensifies. I think 3... All right. Yeah. Wow. Oh boy. Yeah, oh boy, yeah. And there you go. That's not good. That's not good for Dean. So those 5 Plate Marines were just wiped out. Okay. So here comes another reroll to save the Star Weaver. Yeah, no, he's alive. So both those Star Weaver and the Solitaire that's in the left center, besides the Acronian Forest, are alive on 1 wound. It's not what Dean needs. He needed to kill a lot of stuff. All right, that's the end of turn 3. So once Jonathan comes back with the scoring, we can see how Dean has fared this turn. Let's go over to the scoreboard. Okay. While I open my bottle of water to rehydrate myself, Jonathan comes back in with the skinny, the upbeat, the down low, or otherwise more commonly known as the scores for turn 3. And here he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Okay,
as
so
I re-up shields up.
thank you very much. So yeah, Dean didn't manage to score many points on his assassinate. So he's still stuck on that 21 points.
Yeah.
And well, we counted Ori. He scored 2 on the raise at the start of his turn, and 10 on his primary, so that's an extra 12. So Dean has got to start picking up the slack here.
Yeah, so he
Otherwise
didn't
might
he
be
didn't
in
score
trouble.
any of the objectives. Is that
Who?
right?
Dean.
Yeah,
Dean
Dean.
scored only 1.
Yeah, one. No, so one on the primary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we already did that at the beginning of this turn. That's correct. So he scored nothing for vital this turn. No assassinate because he failed to kill any characters.
Yeah, but that little character just takes out so many
Yeah,
plague marines.
yeah, he's a
It's
murder clown.
Crazy.
Yep, he's equipped to deal. He has the perfect equipment to deal with plague marines or anything that's like 2 wounds and has a feel no pain. It's just brutal. And yeah, now it gets dangerous because now
Yeah.
Ori has options left to start dealing with maybe another while we stand we fight target.
Yeah.
If he, for instance, manages to kill the demon prince with, for example, his troop master or his solitaire, which is not a long stretch,
Yeah.
yeah, then Dean is in a lot of trouble. So actually, very little points scored for Dean this turn, just the 5, which we already updated. So the score currently at the end of turn 3 is 36 to 21 for Ori, which is quite a big,
Yeah. A pretty big gap. So
pretty big gap. Not insurmountable, but Dean actually probably suffered more casualties this turn than Ori, while Dean, in all fairness, should have not really. Yeah, so a spot of bad luck and a spot of good luck for Ori with his save rolls, and just those murder clowns, man, they deal so much damage. So this is now going into top of turn 4 for Ori. He gains 1 CP, and there we have it. Let's go into it, man. This is a riffing game. Yeah. Movement actually already done. So this is the sniper called again for the Harlequins. Man, I forget all the Harlequin names.
I have no idea.
I never remember them.
You have the Death Jester.
The Death Jester, exactly. Yeah, coming through. So now some extra firepower from the from the bottom Star Weaver, I do believe, going into the Plaguebear's Crawler. Some shuriken weaponry. That's a cheeky wound coming through from the Star Weaver, or the Star Weaver. Yup has proceeded to name every single clown on the board here. We've got Bussy, It, and Pipo. A called adding to the list of names of Ronald McDonald. I'm gonna put in one myself. One of my favorite clowns ever. Yucko the Clown.
Yucko? Who the hell is Yucko?
Yucko the Clown, you don't know that guy? He's that clown that keeps murdering all the Plague Marines. Yucko the Clown. Okay. So he's charging. So he's going for the Plaguebear's Crawler. So he positioned himself to be able to make a chance. But going for the Plaguebear's Crawler because he's already put wounds into it.
Yeah, I think that Demon Prince is a bit too tough to.
Well, a Plaguebear's Crawler is tougher, but it's because he already has wounds on it.
Yeah.
So the Troop Master now coming in. So it gets more attacks the longer the game progresses. So it's turn 4, it gets 4 more attacks.
Damn.
No, just 2 wounds, but he has a reroll. So 5 saves needed by Dean. Oh, that's it. Oh, so he saves 3. So 2 mortal wounds and 4 damage. It's destroyed. Yep. Nope, yep. There you have it. Yakko the clown. Yak, yak, yak.
Zero.
To answer your the question, it has. Let me check my list here. Yep, no, that's right. 0 wounds left. Okay. Yeah. So reroll to wound here because so that's a bit of smart play actually. So the troop master gives other clowns in the area reroll to wound.
That's crazy.
So we went
good.
with him first, consolidated in the way of the troop to the right side of the center bottom half,
Yeah.
so that they actually get their reroll. So a bit of smart play here from Ori.
Oh, he's a smart player.
Yeah, so his turn's already done. So that was a quick turn from Ori, but it was a very effective turn from Ori. And I think actually this is the nail in the coffin that is a Death Guard, if I am allowed to make a wager here. So Ori is going well, man. He's doing well for himself here. Bringing down another Plague Burst Crawler. Denying Dean 5 more of those while we stand, we fight points. See, this is why I didn't like while we stand, we fight in this scenario for Dean.
Oh, can you move this bottle, please? Thank you.
All right. So what did Ori score here?
Well, we already talked about the 10 points on the primaries. He scored 3 on engage in all fronts, so he's about to max that. I think. No, not really, but a lot of points on it anyways. He's got another 3 points on bring it down and another 2 points on raise the banners. So he's scoring a lot of points. I think they'll probably have time for the last turn.
Yeah, so he's got 54 at the end of his turn.
Yeah. Now, yeah.
Yeah, so this is Dean's turn. Alright, so Dean has 1 objective, which isn't a whole lot. And also then 2 points for vital intelligence or vital
Battleground.
yeah. Because there's that one guy just holding the top objective. So the spawn are coming for the Star Weaver that's holding the left objective. And then the Plague Crawler is coming for the 2 remaining units. They should die at the at the left objective, and the spawn are going for the right objective rather. So we've got some psychic powers coming out of the Demon Prince here. Oh, there's a peril. But he saves all the peril wounds on his Feel No Pain.
Feel no peril.
Right, so we've got shooting now, shooting going into solitaire. It's on 1 wound left. So the solitaire bites the dust, but the Sky Weaver is still alive. Again, making its 4-up saves, much to Dean's chagrin. Or he's saying to Dean that the joke's on you. All right. Okay. Alright, so saves required on the remaining Sky Weaver, Star Weaver, what have you, Weaver on the left side of the board, but fails it, so it's removed from the game at last. Exit stage left for that guy. Finally. Right, so the Spawn make their charge into the Star Weaver. "19 attacks coming out of those guys. Rolling a 1 on the bonus. There's a lot of attacks coming out of those guys. I really think those Spawn are a good unit. So 12 wounds going, 12 saves required. 4-ups. You need to make 7 4-ups. Or more actually, because the Spawn are damaged too. But it's dead. Long story short, you did. Okay, so that's actually the unit holding that objective removed. The Spawn's now taking it. Alright, so Dean actually scoring a lot more points this turn and denying Ori now a bit more of his points because he took him off that objective. So these 2 turns actually Dean, but yeah, these 2 turns Dean should actually score a bit more, but all right. So that's the end of Dean's turn. It was a fairly quick turn.
Alright, so Dean scored quite a lot of points. He managed to max out Assassinate.
Yeah, all the characters are dead.
All the characters
Well,
are dead.
not all the characters are dead, but enough for him to max out Assassinate.
And,
Yeah.
he's slowly rolling the board, but will it be enough? He's gonna score quite a lot on Vital Ground in the next turn. I don't know what Ori's gonna take down. Ori can get off all the objectives.
So Dean has 34 points. At the end of turn 4, it's 55 for Ori to 34 for Dean. Yeah, that's a lot of points still in difference. So, and it's one more turn because this was turn 4. So let's look at it because Dean did take him off another objective. So Dean, well, it's Ori's turn, so depending on what Ori does, but if Dean manages to take 15 points for the objectives he's on, 5 points for the Vital Ground, because he's taking Ori's objective and his top, and the top one in the center. and keeps his Demon Prince alive for while we stand, we fight.
I think he will.
It's 5 points. Yeah, he could crawl back up. So let's go to the top view here.
Everything goes right.
Yeah, what Ori just needs to do is, if he's able, no, he's not able to. He can't take Dean of any more objectives. He doesn't have the models
He just
for it.
has to ride.
The only thing he can try to do is kill the Demon Prince.
If he pops the Demon Prince, it'll be a lot of points.
Yeah.
And other than that,
So he's scoring another 1 point for Raise the Banners this turn. If he brings out Demon Prince, it's another 2 points for bring it down, I believe.
yeah, but he also denies the 5. So that's
Yeah, so it's a
big
7
swing.
point swing, really. He's not going to be able to engage on all fronts, so there's not a whole lot of points that Ori's going to score this turn.
Yeah.
But all he needs to do is maintain his lead.
It's this is the time for him to start playing conservatively.
He doesn't have a lot to play
Yeah.
conservative with.
Is there anything in the top left?
No.
Ruin?
No, I don't.
I don't think I don't think he has the units to.
No, he can't really do anything.
To
The only
engage
thing
in all
he's
fronts.
probably going to try and do is kill the Demon Prince if he can. Oh, okay. So he managed to pop off some wounds. That Demon Prince has 5 wounds left, and he has 3 clowns to try and kill him.
3 clowns.
3 clowns.
I want to see what's going on.
So that's the only thing he can do. Oh, hold it. He's not going to charge. He's not going to charge. Oh, sorry. Turn 5, ladies and gentlemen. So he's not charging the Demon Prince. Curious.
WH40K players, this is your 20-minute mark. 20 minutes remaining. For those of you that are done with your game, you have received an email with the best standard army vote link. Please check it out.
Yeah. Basically, they're just talking it out. So they're talking it out, saying that Ori won the game by 6 points. That sounds about right. We all pretty much expected that. The only thing I'm curious about, which I wanted to ask Ori about, so I'm going to actually turn out his mic, is why didn't he charge the Demon Prince? Because it... Let me ask that question.
Nu vind ik het echt heel vervelend. Dus die heb je dan.
Yeah, so they're doing the scores now.
3, 6, 8.
Ori?
Fight the ground heb ik. Hoe vaak heb ik die gehaald?
Alright, so they're doing the scores first. I'll leave them to do the scores and I'll ask the question.
Ja, die heb je
So my
pas beurt
question
3
is-
gehaald. Beurt 2.
So my question is, why not try and charge the Demon Prince with the troop unit of 2 and then the troop master? Well, he's got 5 wounds left. Yeah, okay, so I think I know why. The troop unit of 2 is never going to kill the Demon Prince on their own. The troop master might, but if he doesn't, the Demon Prince will kill the troop master, and that will yield Dino more points, 3 more points for killing another character. And probably Ori wasn't sure if that was going to tip the scales in Dean's favor, giving Dean the victory. That's probably the reason why, but I'm going to ask him anyway.
Terugnemen? Ja, voor mij maakt het voor het toernooi niks uit, hè?
Cool man, neem hem. Hij is voor jou.
Weet je, of moeten we een dopje omrollen?
Nee, is oké.
Ja, ik vind...
Nee, is oké. Jeppe.
Nee. Ja. Hux.
Die fight on ground, normaal werkt die heel goed.
Ja, als jij beurt 1 hebt, dan sta je op 2 objectives. Dan krijgt niemand je eraf.
Sorry, you were saying?
We have major.
Yeah, is he regretting giving the
Yes.
wristband? Yeah, well, I mean, you can't be a you can't be a sporty guy and then later take it back.
No. So.
But
So-
Dean is feeling a bit hurt.
Do you want the cat?
Feeling a bit stung. So yeah, let's do that. Let's.
Rats of Fury.
Okay. I don't know why it does that. It just decides to do that ever so often. But let's. I hope everybody's awake now.
Yeah, well, I guess they are. So yeah, we're gonna put in. All right, let's
scores.
start with Ori.
Let's start with Ori.
He ended with 35 points on the primaries.
35 points on the primary.
He did very well on engage on all fronts, and he scored 13 points.
13 points on engage on all fronts.
Then he scored 8 points on bring it down,
8 points. Yeah.
and 7 points on raise the banners.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to this later.
Okay.
Then Dean scored 30 points in the
Yeah,
primaries.
15 on his last turn,
The
which
last
is really
turn
good,
was-
right? Yeah.
Then he scored 9 points in total on fire ground,
Yeah.
and he scored 15, maxing assassinate.
Yeah.
While we fight, we stand. He only scored 5
Yeah, for the Demon Prince.
because
Yeah.
the only Demon Prince was
Exactly.
stable.
Yeah.
And so we get, if my calculations are correct,
Do
we
Dean
get
first.
59 for Dean to
Yeah.
63
63 only, yeah?
for Ori.
Yeah.
And as you remember, Ori sort of mischose the deploy scramblers secondary because
exactly.
it read slightly differently than Ori thought.
Yeah.
So Dean allowed him to change it mid-battle to raise the
Yeah,
banners
turn
high.
2 he changed it, yeah.
And those 7 points managed to swing the game. So,
Yeah, it's exactly 6 points that Ori won by. Yeah, sure. Yep. Yeah. I mean,
so yeah, it was a great game though. I really enjoyed watching it. I hope we can get the players to.
yeah, we can just have them stand in front of here.
Or do you want to have? We don't have a side camera.
No.
I'll move out of the way then.
We can just ask them questions and then, you know,
No image.
no image. No, well, we can have an image. We'll ask them some questions. I have a question, so let's go to top view actually. And it was definitely a riveting game. Seriously, I like this game a lot. So I'm gonna turn on
Prachtig,
the
guys.
audio.
Oh, is er nog iemand die het leuk vindt om wat aan de...
Yeah, I have a question for Ori.
Ja.
Why not charge the Demon Prince in the end? Because you had what's that left there? It's like troop of 2.
He could consolidate into the vital ground. Probably. Pile in, consolidate,
And then move.
and then probably he might be just within range of the objective for the 2 points.
Okay. I see.
It was on the edge, so I thought,
Yeah.
why bother?
Because if you kill,
And if he killed me, I wouldn't have engaged on all front.
that's true. Okay, yeah. So you needed them for engaging
on
on fronts. Okay, I see now. Yeah, because I was asking myself, why not try and kill him? Because that's another 5-point denial
Yeah.
if you kill him.
Yeah.
Because it's a troop master, he could probably easily kill.
Troop master could, but these were regular troops.
Okay, where's the the troop
Troop master was
was
killed the turn before.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So yeah, regular troops aren't going to kill a Demon Prince.
No.
No. Okay.
Not without the reroll on the buffs.
Yeah. So I made a little mistake with the deploy scramblers, thinking
Yeah.
you could do it with characters.
Yeah, my previous opponent did it and we didn't check it fully. So I was in the mindset, okay,
Yeah,
I can do
you
it.
do it as well.
To be honest, I've been playing it wrong as well for a few
So
days.
and this is my like fifth game in 9th
Yeah,
edition.
I
So
know.
still making with the secondaries making the mistakes. Dino very cool. Let me change it.
Yeah.
It cost him the game, but yeah.
Well, that's the way it goes, right? But you're right, so it's a little confusing because some of the actions are actually doable by characters, I think.
Yeah,
There's like one or two.
He gave me raise the bandage, which is doable by
Yeah.
characters, and
So
then I would have.
Yeah, so it's a little confusing which ones you can and which ones you can't do. But congratulations on your victory, man. That was a cool game.
Very cool game.
And,
Thanks.
yeah, it was a very exciting game actually to watch.
Cool to be on the stream.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah. I give this back to you.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can put it down here, I'll disinfect it.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, and we are going back to the booth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Gotta put back my mask. Now that we're going back into the booth. All right, here we are.
Yeah.
There we go. That was an intense game, ladies and gentlemen. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Wowee. Okay, so the Harlequins really showing their power, and boy, are those Dutch guards awesome as well, huh? Whew. That was that was an interesting game. It was really a lot of damage going back and forth, just really dancing around each other, trying to take each other out. Just overall sweating, heavy heaving, just grappling, hugging it out.
Monkey.
Yeah, man, it was good. So the time, ladies and gentlemen, is 15 minutes into the third hour. The round officially ends in 10 minutes, and then let me do a quick peek for you guys. The next round is actually gonna start at 15 minutes later. So we are gonna have a short break of about 25 minutes where we get to take a quick restroom break and grab ourselves something to drink, and then we are going into the
final of today.
yeah.
Wow. 4:15.
Right.
Wat je wil.
No, just doing random stuff. Just a sec. Right. So get yourselves something to drink, you guys. You know, also take a quick restroom break, because we're going to the third and final game, which is probably going to be the finale game.
Yeah.
Of the top two players. We might even see Ori again. That's a possibility. But I sure am excited to see who is going first. So there we go.
Dan mag ik geen vraag stellen. Er staat nergens op de voet geheim zijn.
Staat ook nergens op dat je